Welcome everyone, I'm Boris, I'm back again. Got a continuation from the last video and we're going into mass deportation. You know, Trump have a policy that everyone gotta go because you're an illegal immigrant. Everybody want to consider you an immigrant, but the right term is illegal immigrant, and he's trying to get rid of all of them. Now it's kind of, it's kind of tricky, a little controversial, but he had a system and we're going to get into it. All right? Check it.
Let's talk about mass deportation, one of your big agenda items. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country. They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder. So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers released into our country over the last 3 years.
What? And I was watching another program, and that number that he gave, it's not because they have knowledge of the other country's database. That's actually people who did stuff in America before. So it was easy to just punch their, tattoos in or they face in. And that's the number. That's how they got that number. That's people who were deported before. Because they can never know if you're a criminal or whatever, because they don't know where you're from. They don't know anything about you, right? And that's the only way they actually know these guys are criminals, because you've been here before and got deported before. And you heard the number he gave? 13,000 plus. Pull it back a little bit.
They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country. They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder. So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers released into our country over the last 3 years. They're walking down the streets. They're walking next to you and your family. And they're very dangerous.
The 13,000 figure, I think, goes back about 40 years.
No, it doesn't. No,
that
it's within the 3-year period.
figure.
It's during the Biden term. No, that was a fiction that they put that out.
Correction.
This was done by the Border Patrol. It's 13,099, and it's during the Biden period of time. And these are murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. You don't want those people in this country.
But you're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm saying this. We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been? They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at.
Quick fact. The Venezuelan authorities opened the jails and told the guys, leave and go to America, or else you're going to come back into the jail and stay forever. Now, hey, you ain't got to tell me twice. You let me out and tell me to leave, I'm gone. And that's what they did. Everybody would have done it. And here we are.
Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang probably with MS-13, and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people. And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over, literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They couldn't. They just are. They're in the real estate business.
Now, I could keep going on this right here, but they keep rambling and going on a whole bunch of things that we as Americans already know, or we as people who reside in the US already know. We know it's bad, right? But the thing is, I've been watching, I've been trying to keep up with all the current events and all the things that's happening, and the one thing that I always wonder, what about all those Chinese that come over the border? And they call them military age men. They come alone. No kids, no nothing. They just come alone. It got I think it got the ones that come over from Canada side. You know what? Let me just run the video so that way we could see exactly what was happening here, because it's insane. It's happening on such a high level, and the mainstream media, I like to call them the left media, they don't show us that. So now, if you see how extreme it is, Trump won. So we're not even gonna dwell on that too much. But a lot of people would have voted differently if they knew certain things and knew how bad it is. Now, when you hear, oh, migrants, listen, there's a distinction. Migrants come through the legal port of entry. Illegal immigrants come over the wall, through the fence, through the tunnels, in trunk of cars. Illegals, right? Now, nobody not saying that they shouldn't come to the country. It's just that you have to come in legally. You can't, as he said, circumvent the process because you just don't want to wait. You got to find a solution. It got to stop somehow. But let's get into these videos right here too, so we could see exactly what's happening.
Migrants from China are now the fastest growing group of people entering the United States illegally from Mexico.
China?
Why are we seeing these growing numbers?
Man.
Here's what we know.
New York?
Customs and Border Protection reported more than 24,000 Chinese migrant encounters at the southern border last fiscal year. In 2021, that number was just 450.
Did you just arrive here?
Why do you think that number spiked? Because Biden and them say, everybody come. Just claim asylum and you good to go. They actually catching these people, we don't say catch, encountering these people at the border. They taking them to facilities, getting all their name, numbers and all that good stuff, giving them asylum phones, the app, and they putting in their information, and they're not going to be like, oh, go back to your country. Like, oh, go into America. We'll call you when we're ready for you. Really? Really? That's where they get the term catch and release. Is that bad? That bad.
The United States?
The migrants previously told News Nation reporters that they are escaping the Chinese Communist Party and plan to seek asylum in the United States.
向往美国的自由。
Yearning for American freedom.
Some fly to Ecuador, where no visa is needed, and then travel north.
巴巴多尔、巴拿马。
Others are flying into Tijuana Airport before being guided across the border by smugglers. The Chinese migrants are reportedly willing to pay cartels up to $35,000 for smuggling services. And for a
And
lot
I'm
of them,
pretty sure
it
they say 35,000. I'm pretty sure that's US. They don't want no Mexican money.
pays off.
Pesos.
More than 50% of Chinese asylum applications were granted in the
You see that? More than 50% of them get granted asylum. So now, if I don't gamble, but if I was Chinese, I was coming because there's a 50-50 chance I'm going to get in. A lot of people know that the process with the asylum, literally like 80% of the people get denied because they do their due diligence and then they deny you. That's why most of them don't come back to the hearings. They say, go into America and when we need you, we're going to call you. And when they tell them come, they don't come because there's a chance that you're going to get deported. So why come back? So this is what it is. 50%.
The 2023 fiscal year. That's much higher than the average across all nationalities, which is only 14%. So
That's
why are these
Chinese.
migrants seeking
Crazy.
asylum instead of trying to enter the U.S. legally with
Let's
a visa?
let's check another
One
nationality
possible
out.
reason is that the United States tightened visa.
And now we move to Canada, where a startling
to
trend is
Canada border.
emerging at its border with the United States. Illegal immigration by Indians into the United States has skyrocketed to raising alarms on both sides. New data by the U.S. Border Patrol reveals that over 43,000 Indians.
They keep talking about the southern border, right? But nobody watching the northern border. That's why that's where when you speak about tariffs, people don't understand that right now he's using it as a negotiating tactic. Tariffs is a little tricky. I don't know how I feel about tariffs too much, but it's like, if it works, you got to try it. You got to use it. You got to use the threat of tariffs to make them change their ways. But we're going to get into that.
Were detained at the U.S.-Canada border. And during this period, approximately 10 Indians were arrested every single hour while attempting to cross into the United States.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection made over 14,000 arrests of Indian nationals attempting to cross the northern border over the past year. Indian nationals compose about 60% of all arrests made along the northern border, more than 10 times the number of arrests made 2 years ago.
Now the surge reflects a broader issue. In fact, Pew Research estimates over 725,000 undocumented Indians currently live in the United States.
You see these numbers? Mexico, 6.9 million. El Salvador, 750,000. India, 725,000. Guatemala, 60. You see the number of people that come over the border? And that's daily, yearly. It's insane. And they have this open door policy. So now, okay, all these people come in, or they're allowing them to come in freely. They're undocumented. Where are they going to get work from? Right? Now, when Trump says he want to stop the, what do you call that? A birthright citizenship. There's a reason why he said that. Because now they come in illegally. They have children. Now they have access to resources already. They have health and food. Because they know they health, food, and housing. They're already doing that for them, right? Asylum seekers, right? Then now when they have their babies become American. So now they get welfare. And that's the issue that they're having, because now the welfare system is strained. Because now we have actual Americans trying to get welfare, and you miss a signature, you're denied. You can't get Pampers and milk for the babies, but they get everything. How New York was doing it? $350 a week? Some people can't even get that, and they're American. That's why they have to find a way to stop the hemorrhaging of money and stop the influx of illegal immigrants. Yep. They got to figure out a way. They're going to think it's harsh, but it has to be done. It has to be done. Now, I promise this is the last video right here, because it's insane. If you didn't know, now you know.
Dana, good morning to you. For the first time since the 1990s, Border Patrol San Diego sector is now seeing the most illegal crossings of anywhere on the southern border. And we were out here during the overnight hours as masses of men from around the world came through here. Take a look at this video. This was 2 a.m. right where I'm standing, right here in Jacumba, California, about an hour east of downtown San Diego, as we watch men from the Middle East and Asia pouring in here very nonchalantly as they cross illegally. Several of them are what are known as special interest aliens. That means they are coming in from countries with potential national security concerns, and they should be subject to additional DHS vetting. We talked to these guys. There was not a single one of them from Mexico. Take a listen to this. Where are you guys from? What country?
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
India.
India. Where are you from?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Turkey. Okay.
India.
India. Where are you guys from?
Turkey.
Turkey. Turkey? Where are you guys from?
China.
China.
Ecuador.
Ecuador? Where are you guys from?
India.
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 India. Sagar Baba.
India. India.
India.
India?
India.
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 India?
India. India.
All India?
India.
India. Iran.
Iran.
Y'all from?
Now, on the end of the day, we all could sit down and say, oh, it's not nice. Oh, we should be helpful. Oh, we should be welcoming. But but in reality, is this bad? It's something that they cannot sustain. They can't sustain. They spend approximately $137 billion for the past, 3 years, 4 years, taking care of these migrants. A lot of people don't know the numbers. When you start going down the rabbit hole and you see where our tax dollars go, it kind of grinds your gears a little bit. Because when we file taxes and we get back this little pennies that they give us, that means they could give us more, because they could give to other people. That means they could give us back more of our hard-earned money. Yep. Listen. You all gotta get knowledgeable and understand what these politicians is doing and doing with our money. And we all need to just wake up on both sides of the aisle.